Swallowed star. The techniques can actually be used this way. That great being, how did he even come up with so many techniques just from one raindrop picture? Luo Feng placed the first book of time-space scribbles to one side and picked up the second book. Opening the thick metal book, he once again jumped right into reading it. Time-space scribbles' second book, it reflected the 9 universe tablets' second drizzle picture. So it's this way. So that's it. Ah. Luo Feng was completely immersed with reading this thick second book. The first book's 3,219 techniques, Luo Feng took a total of 3 days to learn all of them. Many factories could disassemble machines, and according to the way the deconstruction took place, one could later learn and figure out how to rebuild it. One theory. Why were these techniques so valuable? It was because each technique could grow and get more and more profound, eventually pointing towards the depths of the origin laws. Studying these techniques was actually beneficial to comprehend the laws. This was also why, in the universe, many people would risk everything to obtain valuable techniques. After all, the ones who could truly view the primal chaos tablets were extremely few and privileged. Normal warriors would never even get a chance to see the 52 tablets. Luo Feng took a deep breath and put down the thick book in his hands. Good book. It really is a good book. Luo Feng looked at the cover of the book. The words time-space scribbles alone could make one feel the evolution, the change of stars in space among other phenomenon. If only they were a bit cheaper. The third book is going to cost 100,000 points, where will I get so many points? The points were extremely hard to acquire. Babada, how long have I been studying? Luo Feng placed the heavy book back into the shelf behind him, asking. The first book, you took 3 days. As for the second book, you've been reading it for 29 days. The little demon on his shoulder said. 29 days. Luo Feng nodded, after which he shook his head and laughed. For the first book's 3,219 techniques, I took only 3 days to complete. But this second book's 19 techniques alone took me 29 days, and I still haven't even fully grasped them yet. How's the effect? Babada asked. It's still okay. Luo Feng smiled. I've comprehended the 10th and 11th wonder. Damn. Babada's eyes were almost popping out. Luo Feng, you are too shameless. This is called still okay. The raindrop picture held within 9 wonders. The drizzle picture had 27 more profound wonders within. The rainstorm picture held the final 72 most profound wonders. A total of 108 wonders, these were the foundation of the space origin laws. The first time looking at time-space scribbles had the greatest enlightenment. As one tried to comprehend more, it will only become harder. Unless he managed to go study the Primal Chaos tablet again, however that was in Primal Chaos City. Moreover, a chance to go back in was extremely valuable. Ah! Luo Feng suddenly stared, fiercely standing up and shouting. I've been studying time-space scribbles these past 32 days, that means I haven't attended any classes at all these past 32 days. Damn, even the ones I liked I didn't attend. There were many classes in the absolute beginning region, however they were all optional. Luo Feng didn't care that much about the normal ones who gave lectures about space and techniques. Those Undyings didn't teach as well as his teacher did. However, Full 0 WW current novels on NOV/3L/B in .co/m. What's the use of regretting? The little demon laughed. Here's some good news, your favorite space and gold fusion class is on tonight. Ah, then I'll attend tonight. Luo Feng nodded. However, I should go try out first to see just how much my strength has improved by. Luo Feng jumped out of the balcony from his study, leaving behind images as he arrived at his training grounds entrance. Within the training grounds, the ground was shiny. "Simulate Horned Dragon City," Luo Feng ordered. With Babada's help, the place immediately morphed into a large portion of a huge city. The city was empty. In a 9-story normal building's balcony, Luo Feng carried the dark golden long rod on his back and shouted, "Rise! Go!" Luo Feng pointed ahead at a bank skyscraper. Rumble. Later, several kilometers around the epicenter were all reduced to nothing but dust. My strength control is still not precise. Luo Feng stood in mid-air, surveying the buildings that were reduced to dust below. Frowning, I want to control my attack and condense it into one line, however it still rippled along the ground. However, according to the time-space scribbles over 3,000 techniques that I've slightly tweaked and combined with my comprehension of the 10th and 11th wonder, the power of my totem pillar is obviously much stronger. Luo Feng pointed far away, "Go." Rumble. 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 The totem pillar was like a god punishing the land, crashing here and there. The moment it hit, that entire area would be reduced to dust. I'll give it a shot. With a thought, the totem pillar first separated into countless gold lights returning to the golden long rod on his back. "Rise!" Luo Feng roared and his eyes focused. Nanshan armament 5th level, every blade was made of 81 little blades. When these 36 were added together, it would form a total of 2,916 little golden blades. Luo Feng took a deep breath and watched the floating 36 blades, roaring, combine. Succeed, succeed, combine together. Luo Feng's forehead was filled with perspiration. The blur of golden threads interweaved and formed between the 36 golden blades, finally forming a 3 m long golden blade shape. However, there were still regions on that blade itself where it was shaking and unstable as the gold threads floated about and unable to fully combine. Combine, combine together. Luo Feng's face was flushed red. His consciousness and spirit energy were stretched to the limit, as they were controlling everything. However, the repulsion of those spots was strong. Pang! The dark long golden blade violently shook and dispersed. Phew! Luo Feng sighed. Shaking his head, he immediately dispersed the 2,916 blurs of little golden blade lights and they returned to the dark golden long rod. If my spirit energy is domain lord level, then I can rely on it to force the combination. Luo Feng thought. If my comprehension of the gold origin laws was deeper, I would then be able to form it too. Nanshan armament was a spirit weapon that was created from the fusion of space and gold origin laws. It was one of the 9 godly weapons. My space origin law comprehension is enough for the 5th level. However, my gold origin law comprehension isn't enough. Luo Feng laughed helplessly. Gold laws, in this aspect, Luo Feng's study speed wasn't slow at all. Space laws, with the 9 universe tablet, floating blood and time-space scribbles, along with Tru Yan's instructions and the space pet Masha clan studying, his studying speed was close to the gold origin law speed. However, in theory, the speed of his gold origin law study should far exceed the space study speed. After all, I did not have a teacher who specializes in gold to teach me. Luo Feng thought, also, I haven't studied any gold origin law techniques. From what I see, it's time for the golden horned beast to pick a technique. That way, I can raise my improvement speed of the gold laws. Inherited memories, the techniques within these memories were as vast as the ocean. My golden horned beast, which technique should I choose? There were many battle techniques within the golden horned beast's inherited memories. When Luo Feng and Babada were analyzing which was most suitable, It only took a while before the night class was about to begin. Absolute beginning region Villa 1136, a silhouette rushed into the sky. This public class speaks about gold and space fusion, it's not bad. Luo Feng swiftly left the villa and headed towards the distant large skyscraper that could almost be deemed a large artwork. At this time, a line of silhouettes were flying towards it and entering. Classroom number 2, the size of this room was 80 kilometers long and 60 kilometers wide. Luo Feng. Ku. Luo Feng smiled and waved at a skinny youth in scaled armor. This youth was bald and had bronze skin. He emitted a powerful fierce aura. He was one of the few friends Luo Feng had in the absolute beginning region. Following which Luo Feng sat beside that youth. I haven't seen you this past month. Ku smiled. Usually during these gold space fusion and gold classes you'd attend. There's been close to 10 classes this month already and I haven't seen you around at all. I even sent you calls, but it was cut off. I was studying some techniques, I got immersed and forgot to attend. Luo Feng laughed. Ku, Domain Lord level, absolute beginning member. Immersed in it? Ku blinked. I guess your rewards aren't small then. Luo Feng nodded. Congrats, Ku laughed loudly, following which he said softly, however my brother, I estimate my own rewards too aren't small. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. You know, I control quite a bit of authority now. Occasionally I would meet some unexpected surprises. Ku's eyes had a sense of anticipation within. I hope this time around, I will succeed. The moment I do. Good for you, you have such authority outside. However, we are still stuck training within. Luo Feng shook his head. The top 1,000 of the genius battles were immediately sent to train in Primal Chaos City for 30 years to lock in their foundation. Universe-level core members were to train in the virtual universe companies for secret regions, safely listening to Undying lessons, and to train and take on missions. Value your chance. Luo Feng nodded. Universe level was considered a child that required nurturing. Domain Lord was considered youths, who were able to explore outside. Sector Lords were considered adults, who were beginning their life or death struggles. If successful, they would reach the Undying level. It was a pity that the efficiency rate was very very low. Within Classroom 2, more absolute beginning members entered, there were already more than 100. While Luo Feng and Ku sat together and chatted, another golden-bearded dwarf walked over, smiling. Ku, this person beside you should be Luo Feng, right? Zha Wu. Ku glanced at him. How do you do? Luo Feng smiled and waved. Luo Feng, Zha Wu, this punk is crafty, but he's still not bad. I've known him for over 1,000 years. Ku introduced. Right. Luo Feng nodded. Powerful indeed, respect. Zha Wu nodded. Wu, speak what's on your mind. Ku frowned. Wu said softly, Luo Feng, I want to discuss something with you. Luo Feng frowned. If you use 1,000 points, I'll give you 200 mixed elements. Wu said, you should know, this is a good deal. Luo Feng was shocked. Every 5 points he spent he would receive 1 mixed element. Go away. Ku pushed Zha Wu away. Get away, you bastard, actually trying to swindle my friend. What's going on? Luo Feng was curious. Speak. Zha Wu seemed unhappy, almost like a gangster. Luo Feng. Ku said softly, right now when you exchange for items you'll discover 1 mixed element equates to about 7 or 8 points, right? Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng couldn't help but nod. Right. With enough money, he could buy any treasure within the auctions. However, the treasure trove is different. Everything you need is available there. A few high-level items are rarely seen even in the high-level auctions, because the 5 major powers do not wish to circulate these extremely rare items. Iko said, however, all these items are usually available in the treasure trove. The further you get, the more obvious the importance of the treasure trove becomes. However, exchanging for items in the treasure trove relies solely on points. Iko sighed, and the points are hard to acquire. Anyone under Undying level cannot use money to exchange for points. And after becoming Undying, only then can one use money to exchange for points. The rule for Undyings of the Virtual Universe Company is, 1 mixed element for 1 point. Luo Feng was shocked. I've said what I needed to, you make your own choices. Iko said. Iko is right. Beside, the gold-bearded dwarf nodded. A few rare items can't be bought at all outside. Hence the points are extremely valuable. However, Luo Feng, you are currently only universe level, the things you need can be bought outside as well. You have no need to waste your points. If you help me buy them, I'll give you cash, 5 points for 1 mixed element. It's very worth it. Luo Feng laughed. Iko watched as Zha Ji-Wu left unwillingly. Laughing, Luo Feng, I was worried you'd agree. I was never going to deal with him. Luo Feng smiled. What a joke. That's right, you are considered powerful. First time in Primal Chaos City and completing 5 levels, one has to know the 10x reward is only for the first time. Iko shook his head. The 31,000 points you have with the initial 10,000 award. It may seem like points are easy to acquire, but you'll see later on. Luo Feng listened intently. Iko was after all a domain lord. His accumulated experience was much more. I have an assisting metal life form Kale. Iko shook his head. This life form can form armor, form weapons, and even fuse with a ship. It's an excellent helping hand. In order to nurture this Kale and make it evolve to Domain Lord was easy. However, to Sector Lord level, the materials required alone cost 86,000 points. I can only look at it and let my head ache. And after reaching Sector Lord level, the amount to be spent on Kale alone would get even more shocking. As for it to become an Undying, I don't even dare to imagine the number of points required for the materials now. Luo Feng thought. Babata, the Cloud Contact Vine's breakthrough and evolution to Sector Lord, how many points do I have to spend? And the breakthrough to Undying? Luo Feng asked. According to the process of how the UNMO Master nurtured his Cloud Contact Vine from Domain Lord level 9 to Sector Lord, it requires many treasures and combinations. So, that would amount to about 120,000 points. As for Sector Lord level 9 to Undying, this is the hardest breakthrough. Humans breaking through to Undying is already unbelievable. To help the Cloud Contact Vine, according to how much he spent back then, it would require about 6.2 million mixed elements, plus luck. After all, to actually break through the shackles of life itself to become Undying, there's no 100% guarantee. 6.2 million mixed elements and luck. A huge wave crashed within Luo Feng's heart. 6.2 million mixed elements. What a terrifying amount that was. The entire Black Dragon Mountain star field alone was only worth about 300,000 to 1 million mixed elements. Very hard to kill. Didn't he get killed in the end anyway? Luo Feng thought. Points. Luo Feng was nervous. The amount needed to be accumulated wasn't easy to complete. Buying the time-space scribbles requires points, nurturing the cloud contact vine requires points, repairing the Yun-Mo planet ship requires points, and on top of that they all need such huge amounts of it. Luo Feng thought, at least currently my stress level still isn't that elevated. Luo Feng had barely enough point to use at the moment. He didn't need to nurture the cloud contact vine or repair the ship yet. Teacher. Within classroom 2, over 100 absolute beginning members bowed respectfully. A 30 tall demon god Undying walked into the room. His entire body was almost like metal, with 3 horns on his head. With a rumble, gold, as strong as the sun and iron, it's sturdy, unstoppable. Space holds within it all sorts of things and their energies. When time stops, space is all that is in the universe. Silence. This Undying explained to the class. With a wave of his hand, origin laws could be seen floating in its path. It's that way. Ah. Luo Feng carefully listened, occasionally realizing something important, sometimes nodding and at other times frowning. After a while, the class ended. Luo Feng turned and was taken aback. Ku, who was beside him, had suddenly vanished. Ah. Usually even if he leaves the virtual universe, he would say goodbye. Luo Feng was curious, it's weird that he left halfway. At this time, Luo Feng tried to call Ku, however. It's cut off. Luo Feng smiled, must be something important. After finishing the lesson, Luo Feng didn't rush to choose a technique from the golden horned beast. He decided to head to the Undying altar and fantasy ocean to give it a shot. Points. Because, the virtual universe company's treasure trove only allowed exchanges for points. First I'll hit the Undying altar and fantasy ocean to take a look. Core members could easily enter any of the 3 places, Heavenly Bridge, Undying altar and fantasy ocean. A black-haired youth appeared in one of the golden altars. Luo Feng appeared before the altar, feeling somewhat uncomfortable. I can't feel the universe origin law ripples. I can't feel the energies from the outside world too, the genetic energy within is gone too, and my spirit energy has been reduced to a bare minimum as well. Peculiar, it was a very uncomfortable feeling. Losing his genetic energy, spirit energy, all the ripples of the origin laws, everything was gone. The only thing that remained was his physical body strength. Purely testing my strength. Undying altar. Luo Feng looked up. This altar had a total of 99 points. Right at the top was the 100-point mark. Only when one's body exertion reaches 100 points will one have perfect control over their body. Standing on the altar, he swiftly reached the stand. 5 attacks. Luo Feng was stunned. He originally thought it would be like Earth's measurement, where just 1 punch would do. He didn't expect that he had to do 5 attacks separately with these body parts all within 1 second. Let's give it a shot. Luo Feng started to wiggle his muscles and bones. Pa! He attacked the target. Rumble. His leg swished through the air. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, immediately attacking the target before him. In an instant Luo Feng's body became like a circular movement. His fists were like a mythical beast punching strongly against the target's head, 1 attack. The moment he landed, he once again fiercely jumped up and raised his knee to smash into the target's stomach, exploding with energy, 3rd attack. After which his entire body jumped up and with a right twist, his muscles seemed to condense into knots and released all his energy into his right elbow, smashing hard into the target, 5th attack complete. Luo Feng looked at the screen. The numbers that appeared. 31, 28, 36, 29, 35, score 28, points awarded 0. My exertion is only 28 times. Luo Feng shook his head. In 1 second, use 5 portions of your body to attack, the lowest score will be your score. The requirements are harsh. After trying that one time, Luo Feng understood why, in a short amount of time to use all these parts to reach 100 points, that would mean one should have perfect control of his body. Again. 5 continuous attacks, 5 results again, 35, 30, 36, 29, 35, score 29, points awarded 0. Again. Score 28. Again. Score 30. LL nu estirais at novelby.cm. Time and again, he tried non-stop over hundreds of times. His best score was only 32, and the lowest was at 26. Ultimately, he still got 0 points. Passing the Heavenly Bridge, Fantasy Ocean and Undying Altar could help one get points. However, they had different rules. The 9-universe Heavenly Bridge had a total of 27 levels. The first level gave 100 points, second 200, third 400, and they compounded on, each giving twice the amount of the last level before. From outside going in, there were a total of 21 islands. The first gave 100 points, second 200, third 400, it compounded on, the deepest of the Fantasy Ocean being Island 21. Even Undyings and the Knights would attempt Fantasy Ocean and Heavenly Bridge as they yielded high points. However, the Undying Altar was different. Perfect control of one's entire body was a prerequisite to becoming Undying. Hence the points given were the lowest of the 3. If one got a score of 50, he would be awarded 1,000 points. Score of 60, 2,000 points. Score of 70, 4,000 points. Score of 80, 8,000 points. Score of 90, 16,000 points. Score of 100, 50,000 points. My strength usage is so weak. In that particular altar amidst the tens of thousands of golden altars on the Black Mountain Range, Luo Feng tried over and over. He tried for a total of tens of thousands of times. Even after using one entire day, his best score was still only 34. He couldn't blame anybody. Firstly, he was a spirit reader, he never really trained using his strength that way. As for the golden horned beast, it was a blood and flesh life form, and it did emphasize on strength exertion. However, human body strength usage however was harder. For Luo Feng to reach 34 points, that was still mostly because of his strong consciousness and his comprehension of the origin laws. How shameful, I actually got 0 points. Luo Feng thought. When I return, I have to find a battle technique for the golden horned beast that emphasizes on strength exertion. Strength exertion is one of the requirements to become Undying, I cannot overlook it. So what if I can't get any points from the Undying Altar, I'll head to Fantasy Ocean next. My consciousness and willpower is what I'm the most confident in. Fantasy Ocean, I have to go deeper and get more points. Luo Feng immediately headed towards Fantasy Ocean. Suddenly. Mail. Luo Feng pointed in mid-air and a screen appeared, and on it was a mail. It's from the Virtual Universe Company. D. Luo Feng opened the mail and as he read, his entire face went completely pale. That's not possible, it's impossible. Luo Feng couldn't help but shake his head.